Yeah, 8 to 10.
Go. Sounds good, man.
Can Michigan State make it 2-0 against Oregon with the Ducks having won 8 consecutive basketball games? I'm Spencer McLaughlin, Locked On Ducks. Matt Sheehan, Locked On Spartans. We're crossing it over to wrap up our shows today. I assume this is your third segment, but maybe it's your first. I don't know. Every fan base is different with basketball attention and such. But I tell you, that game against Michigan State was so encouraging for Oregon way back when. It was the last time Oregon lost a basketball game. They put up a 50-piece in the first half on the road. They had a 14-point lead, only to score 24 in the second and allow 50. And ever since then, Dana Altman has snapped them into focus. They beat Indiana on Thursday morning, got off to a solid start, then hit a lull, and then things exploded in a great way, and they end up winning that game kind of handily by the end of it. Well-rounded offense, defense, it was there. So how are things for you, Matt? Because we feel good over here at the moment.
I'm amazing. Do you remember back in football season when we talked and we did a little crossover show? Hey,
yes.
Can this game even be within 40 points? And one person was really happy on that show, and the other one was just kind of fighting for their life, just kind of trying to make the conversation somewhat interesting. That's how I feel how you must have felt a few months ago. Like, things are going really well here in East Lansing. We got the banner up in the rafters, won the conference by 3 whole games, and oh, God, it's about to get really scary here because this all means that we have high hopes for March Madness, and I'm so ready to get hurt again. So that's how I'm doing. Spencer, good now, but I won't be for long.
The old hello, darkness, my old friend. I've been here before to get excited. Now, I'll just tell you, Matt, Oregon fans have very limited experience with high hopes and then getting disappointed. We haven't even gone through that recently as fans.
Certainly not. Yeah.
No, not that I can think of. Or there's nothing that comes to mind.
That's good.
Maybe once like 7 or 8 years ago or something with Justin Herbert.
Oh, the 2015. Oh, the Redbox Bowl. But no, that was us. You were just sad that you had to actually sit and watch it. I get.
Yes, yeah,
you're the only thing.
You're exactly right on that one. But let's dive into this matchup.
Yeah.
I think Oregon's depth has really been showing up in the last several weeks, even though the rotations have tightened a bit. Brandon Angel just had his best game in a long time against Indiana, but he hasn't been playing or been involved a ton offensively because KJ Evans has been playing really well, especially the defensive end of the floor, but Supreme Cook's role has been pretty limited. Raheem Moss is not seeing the court a whole heck of a lot, but that's pretty typical for a Dana Altman team. It settle into what your rotation should be with offense and defense and mixing and matching. And Nate Biddle, in the regular season finale at Washington, goes for a career-high 36. Last time out, he has fewer than 10 points, and Oregon beats an NCAA tournament team in Indiana because TJ Bamba had maybe his best game of the year. Jackson Shellstad chipped in, as always. Keyshawn Barthelemy had a couple big shots, as he usually does. So that's where I'm at with Oregon and why I feel good. Not just about the fact that they've won 8 games, but how they're doing it. I don't feel like they are reliant on one guy. They are playing incredibly balanced basketball right now, and I think that makes for an interesting game here against Michigan State.
We're doing this again. We're talking about our own teams, but really you're describing the other person's teams. Like, I don't know how many people listen to that crossover show about, 4 weeks ago, but that's pretty much how things are here at Michigan State. Like, you can count on Jace Richardson getting his, and he had his coming out party against Oregon that first time.
What did he have, 50?
52, I think it was.
I think it was 50. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, no, he exploded that game, and Michigan State obviously doesn't win that if he doesn't have that moment.
It was 29, just to be clear. We're being sarcastic.
On an actual number, yeah, but it felt like 50, to be honest. Like because he was the guy that was single-handedly on offense dragging them to the finish line. Now, of course, you got the typical Michigan State, hey, we're going to demolish you on the boards, right? Michigan State's only been out-rebounded twice this entire season, and that's going to be another key to the game here, is just be yourself, be Michigan State. But, yeah, as a whole, ever since we've met, it's just been, a party of depth with, like, Jace Richardson being the guy that's, like, establishing himself as the alpha. So it's been smooth sailing over here. And what's been interesting, too, is, like, yes, you guys are obviously up a lot in the first half, 50-36 at the break. That's not like a one-off thing. Like, this has become a feature for Michigan State basketball of having like an 8, 10, 16-point deficit in the first half that they claw back from. Did it against Illinois, did it against Michigan, did it against Wisconsin, did it against Iowa to seal the Big Ten Conference Championship. So this team just likes to make the games interesting in the first half and then, just buries them with I'll say the D word again, their depth. So that's how things are over here.
See, that was November, December, Oregon. Get down 12 points in 5 minutes and go, all right, guys, we should, what is it? Start playing the game. It has indeed tipped off. And then once they got focused, it was, hey, this team's really good. Boy, you went from down 12 to up 15. They had a game kind of like that recently, actually, in this winning streak against USC. They were down 11 in the early going, and they won the game by like 25 points or so, or somewhere in that range. You look up and you're going, that's like a 36-point turnaround in, 34 minutes of basketball, roughly. And that's what this Oregon team's capable of. I've, been high on them since last offseason, Matt, when they added TJ Bamba, because I felt like that gave them an extra level of production and depth. And he hasn't even shot the three well all season long, which has been a historical anomaly. But if he continues playing how he did on Thursday, which is, you know what? I'm going to put up 2 threes at most in this game. And I'm just going to get the ball, and I am a fourth or fifth year guy. I have got huge shoulders. I am stronger than most people who are going to try and defend me, but he's really athletic, finishes with both hands. He put up a hook shot for the first time, I think, all season against Indiana. Matt, I almost jumped up to my hotel room ceiling because he drives in and sometimes he gets cut off, and I just want him to flip up a hook shot, and he had to late in the shot clock. He didn't come close to hitting the rim in the best way, and I thought, man, if he's going to put that full array of moves together on the inside, he's going to be a 15 to 20 point a game scorer again.
I feel like, this is a conversation going back because I was talking about Jaden Akins, senior player, traditionally a good 3-point shooter, kind of struggling, but his defense hasn't really gone away. And then that's where he jumped in and said, oh, you're describing TJ Bamba. Now, I will say this, unlike TJ Bamba limiting his 3-point shooting, while Akins hasn't done it well this entire year, no. He's still emptying the clip in all these games. And that was something that, was of a concern here for a little bit is he going to get a little bit timid shooting the 3-point ball? Here's him in the last 3 games. 9 3-point attempts, 10 3-point attempts, 9 3-point attempts. Now it's worked because he is now shooting at 35%. And while that's not going to get you an NBA contract immediately out of college, that is markedly better than what he was doing earlier in the year at 28%.
Let me tell you, Sheehan, if TJ Bamba starts hitting the 3 to 35% clip, Oregon's going to win the national championship, and it won't be close. We will UConn everybody.
2 years ago, UConn, just buzzed on everyone. I could see that. So that's who we have our eye on right now is Akins because, he's seen or seeming to, get his shot going in the last 3 games, but just like we've also seen the last 4 years, he's a very up and down player. So if he could just show some consistency in this Big Ten tournament, whether it's 1 game, 2 games, or 3 games, I mean, that's going to bring our expectations for March to here, which is still pretty high, all the way to my hand's going to hit the ceiling if I go any higher. Oh, God, if he can start making shots. Oh, Spencer. Oh, God, I might just start crying preeminently.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these teams have Final Four run potential.
Yeah, they do.
I think both of these teams also have how did you lose that game potential.
Unfortunately.
That's I think that's a reality for most teams in March, except for UConn the last couple of seasons, or that Duke team with Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, and RJ Barrett that Michigan State beat with Cassius Winston and a bunch of guys who were not in the NBA. Yeah, that team wasn't going to lose in the first round. They didn't have that a bit. Or Auburn this year. Auburn's getting to the Sweet 16. You can
they're a wagon.
Sharpie that into your bracket. That's a lock. But for most everybody else, this is kind of what it is. You want to give yourself a chance, be playing good basketball. Oregon will be playing their second game in 2 days, so advantage Michigan State in that regard. But going back to that depth, I think the biggest key for Oregon here, you got to flip the rebounding battle. Minus 13 on the glass. You don't have to be plus 13. You might not even need to be plus 2. You can't be worse than minus 5 on the boards and go out there and beat this Michigan State team. You can't give up as many second chances as they did at times against Indiana on Thursday, and you have to find a way to just not let that disparity get too big, and KJ Evans will certainly be a big part of that. So that's my biggest key for Oregon. Be competitive on the glass. Your biggest key for Michigan State.
I'm going to go with something I haven't really talked about all season, and that's turnovers. Like, Michigan State's been doing a pretty good job of taking care of the ball, but I just go back to that last Oregon game. Michigan State did get a little wonky with that ball, especially in the first half. And, hey, well, who was missing that game? It was our starting point guard, Jeremy Fears, who has had an up and down end to his season. So it's a twofold thing. It's one, like, tighten up the turnovers to win this game, but also tighten up the turnovers, especially from a Jeremy Fears point of view, so that we could, like, believe that you are truly ready for your first March Madness run. Obviously, he missed half of last season. We all know that story. But just, like, make us fans, the people that like to panic like myself, get us assured that things are going to be okay here in the long run. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with turnovers, a word that I really have not said for the last few weeks, if not months of the season. It's been nice, I got to say.